Hello and welcome to this very special show on NDTV. Now, 2016 overall has been a very good year really for both the men's and the women's national football teams of India. But what is the future of Indian football looking like? What is the domestic structure looking like, and especially the I-League, how much is that helping in propelling Indian football forward? To talk about that and much more, we are joined today by 4 guests here in our studios. One of the biggest names that Indian football has ever produced, someone who holds Indian records for both goals scored and matches played, the one and only Sunil Chhetri, here in studio with us. We also have veteran Indian goalkeeper Subroto Paul, a rock in the goalpost. Subroto, thanks so much for being here. You also got someone who has very quickly established himself at the goalpost. The very tall Gurpreet Singh Sandhu also made us very proud this year by playing abroad. And we've got the CEO of the I-League, Mr. Shunand Dodhot, to take some tough questions really today on the show. Thank you, sir, for being here. And that's not it. We've also got a fantastic audience here today in the studio. And by the looks of it, I can see they're all very young football fans and enthusiasts mostly. And what's really great to see is that there are a lot of young girls as well in the audience here. Now, before we start, yes, Sunil's clapping for them. Now, before we start, a quick poll from you guys. How many of you here honestly watch more football than cricket? Wow, now that's almost 100%. Now that's great, isn't it? Which means that you guys on the stage are safe. No googlies coming your way. There can be an occasional curling free kick or two though. The 10th edition officially of the I-League around the corner. Bengaluru FC go in as the defending champions. Exciting times ahead for that. But overall, as a player, would you say the I-League is still the same entity when it began to now, or has it changed in character?
It is the same, and it is just, I think it's getting better. I think every year in the I-League, the teams want to improve themselves, and it's not only in terms of the way they play, but the personals they bring, the way they behave, the professionalism, everything changes, everything, changes for a better. We as a club at Bangalore, I can say we always want to improve, and I'm sure every other club also wants to improve, and that's a good part. All the players want to improve themselves, and it reciprocates to every one of us, right from the management, to the coaches, to the players, and that's a good thing. It has become more competitive. And at the end, it's all good for football.
All right, now since we are in a way celebrating what Indian football has done this year, someone who was celebrated this year, Gurpreet, becoming the first Indian to play in the Europa League. What was that experience like, Gurpreet, overall? And how different would you say is it playing in say, a country like Norway as opposed to in India and in the I-League?
It was a good experience for me. I didn't, believe in getting that opportunity so fast, playing the Europa League, just been in Europe for about 2 years. All in all, was a good experience. And on the other hand, there's a big difference between Norway and India, as in football or as in teams, because the professionalism is a bit much more higher than in India. And the players you play with, the players you compete with are of a different level. Which helps you to become a better player as well.
Subroto, you yourself have been a veteran Indian footballer. Early on in your career, you played for both Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. How much did the I-League help you in your career overall, and what would you like to see different about the league in years to come?
Yeah, I always is a favor of I-League, always. Is ISL, I-League, I had no debate, but I always love to play I-League, because if I play I-League, I will play AFC Cup. And AFC Cup is I can play in the whole of the Asian team is here, and I think I-League this year is much higher standard, because they in this year have 9 state teams participate. I think in 9 teams is from the different states, and it's very good for Indian football. And I hope after this year our I-League will go much higher than higher.
Right, Sunil, one thing that a lot of people always ask is what is holding Indian football back, or is there anything at all that is maybe holding Indian football back? I remember talking to you before Bengaluru played the AFC Cup semi-final, and you said that you were very proud of what Indian football has achieved so far. If you had to put your finger on one thing that's holding Indian football back, what would that be?
One thing? See, I'm happy with where we have reached. I'm not satisfied. All the other Asian teams, let's not talk about the world right now, are improving at a much faster pace. Are we improving? Yes. But it's not as equal as the other Asian teams. So that's why you think, you know what, we're not making huge jumps. So if you have to compete with them, you have to change rapidly in the same pace, if not better. Now, how do we do it? As a player, I can only think, how do I do it? So whatever I am today, I'll be a better version tomorrow. That's all is in my hand. I can't look at Sunanda Dhar and say, you know what, he's not doing his job. I can't look at the government thinking, you know what, they're not helping us. Because that is not going to help Indian football at all. So once we understand that, once he goes to his room and thinks, you know what, as the main guy of I-League, how can I help? As the government thinking, maybe the PM of our country thinks, you know what, how can I help football? In the same way, if I think what I can do is improve myself to a better version of me, and that's all I can do, and that's all I'm bothered about. In the same way, if the media, the fans, the I-League, the ISL, the government, everyone comes together and tries to improve themselves, that's it. Then we're collectively improving and we'll be much better nation than what we are today. One thing is for sure, no matter how much we improve, it's not going to be enough. Because we're competing with, forget about world right now, with the best team in Asia. Our target, my target in my mind right now is to come in the first 10 of Asia. And that's a humongous task. Then you are there, then you know that you are there. And coming to the first 10 is not going to be easy. But that's in my head the target is. And that is only going to be achieved if all of us put our head down and work to improve ourselves.
Well, that's a great point that you make, that, you know, set targets for yourself, don't wait for someone else to set the targets for you. Gurpreet, as players, do you regularly give feedback to the AIFF, to the I-League? Maybe do you give feedback to the management?
I think I personally don't do that, but my journey or what I'm doing, I think people back in India, the management, the I-League, they notice, and maybe they take note. They take notes of it and try to replicate it, or you know, try to produce more talents like this.
He calls you.
Tells me, "Bhai, aisa ho gaya hai, and let's talk about this." So I tell them, yeah. I tell them, yeah, we're going to discuss it.
You're a good man to call.
And I mean, he's a good guy. Now, I mean, why I interrupted was, I'm sorry, is because whatever he's doing is an example for a lot of people. I remember, pardon me if I'm saying this, but I remember him calling me and he said, "Bhai, it's difficult here. It's difficult here."
He
and
called you from Norway.
Yeah, it's difficult here because he was already a big name in India, and he could have achieved so much if he was in India. And he said, it's getting difficult. I'm away from family. The condition is not great, and you know all the stuff. But now when I look at him and I told him this, and you can ask him, stay there, hang in there. The Europa Cup game came to his hand. Now he's one of the most prominent players there, and eventually you never know. All the teams that you support, he might. All the big teams that you guys support, I don't want to take names, he might end up there. And it's only because he was resilient, he knew that he has to work hard, and trust me, it's not easy. When you're away from your country, when you're away from your family, nobody knows you, nobody wants you there at the first place. He stood there, he kept training hard, and look at him now. He's a different player. I saw him the first time, he was cocky, he was bad. I thought he can never be a player. But now you watch him, he's our main guy, he's our main player. When he stands in the goal, you're so confident. So yeah, just hang in there, and you never know. You never know, he's going to be in a big team soon.
Mr. Dhar, picking up from where Sunil left off, you know, the players, they seem to, of course, always they gel together, they stick together, and it's true across sports for that. It's not just football. Any team sport that you play, the players become one family. How does the management help in a situation like this? For example, if something like what Gurpreet is going through, someone else, if he goes through the same problem or the same, you know, faces the same challenges, how does the management step up and help? And this I'm asking in context of where I-League is headed in the future.
See, as far as the AIFF is concerned, we realized about 5-6 years back that we as a federation didn't do enough for the development of the game at the grassroots and the youth development level, at the youth level. So that's where we concentrated. Credit to Sunil, credit to Subrato, that they became professional players, star players, not because of the system, in spite of the system. So we really wanted to focus on the youth at the grassroots level and give opportunities to players like Gurpreet to come through the system. That's where we create that platform for them. And that's what we have been trying to do for the last 5-6 years.